And at the end of the day, I think we're talking about passive recreation, of course, nothing active. We're not talking about ball fields or anything like that. And goodness knows we're not talking about building any significant structures over there. But the island is strategically placed in the middle of the the sand pit, and it does form a buffer, and it is quite beautiful in its own right. So properly treated, I think it, in addition to being a buffer, could not only be a nice amenity to the town. Anchored boat in the channel, particularly the abandoned ones, impede the flow of traffic and certainly impact the view. From the island, the view to the steel mill, by most people's measures, probably not that handsome. So that's an issue. And these abandoned vessels tied up to the shoreline, and even squatters on the vessels themselves, plus on the island, I think is not only maybe a current nuisance, but could continue to be a nuisance over time. Most of this island is actually a wetland. So those of you that have ever been involved in real estate or just simply been involved in and kept up with current law understand that wetlands are greatly regulated, and even though some of this ground is high much of the time, the fact that it is a classified wetland means that would be an inhibition to different kinds of development you can conduct on it. These purplish areas represent the prominent high ground areas that are outside of the wetland, by the way. So obviously being an island, it's going to be difficult to get services, utilities, and things like that over to the island, but not that impossible. In fact, I'm told that utilities run across the part of the bay right now to service the southern part of Marysville from this section of Georgetown. So all that can be done. It's just a function of cost and money. There are excellent views of Goat Island, and Goat Island is again is fairly scenic, and it obscures its view of Georgetown. And one of the things we think we should be careful of, and whatever we do over there, is we should maintain the canopy trees. Maybe even do a little reforestation over time with species like cypress that can stand a wet environment, so we can keep that buffer going. There's potential for additional slips over here, provided we're careful to not encroach into the channel. There are all kinds of opportunities for additional boating, and that could range from kayaks and John boat small craft to, if slips were put in and the proper services, you could even tie up some fairly large boats that could in turn use skiffs or whatever to get over to the downtown area. So there's some opportunities for some additional dockage. Blackman is not at this point wanting to convey this tip of property. It's about 3 acres of high ground, and I don't think he has any plans for this piece, and in fact he directed us to go ahead and include it in the planning. Talk about passive uses that could be utilized on it as well. But right now it wouldn't be a part of the property that's conveyed to Georgetown. And some of its students came in 2 or 3 years ago, and they did some conceptualization.
Maybe as a consideration doing a collaborative act with the county, maybe a recreation plan. Because I'd certainly love to see the city get an eye.
Sitting on my deck watching people go up and down the boardwalk, I respectfully disagree with it. You got a boardwalk over there, people that find a way to get over there.
Beaufort?
Yeah,
okay.
That's all right off the waterfront.
I've been to Beaufort a few times.
Nature trail and observation points. I think that it would attract many more people to Georgetown from the land side as well.
Okay.
And I think it would just give us a unique, I mean, this is unique.
Back in the, I think it was in the nineties, we had a little boat that we called a welcome boat. We'd make up welcome packages and take them out to all the boats that were out there. Do that every night, make a list of the boats. During the fall, during the spring, when we have a migration, we have like there's many boats in there. I remember one night we went out, I think we gave out 110 packages. And some of the same boats were there for 2 days or more, then they'd move on either heading south or heading north. So there's quite a number of boats that come through here, particularly in the spring and the fall. We got a lot of traffic there, we need to capture that and do something with it to help the downtown area.
Yeah, if you stop 2 nights, you're gonna wanna eat one of those lunches.